Hello guys, welcome back to the Lumley trading video. Now this is quite a big one. It's going to be on JPMorgan and First Republic Bank because JPMorgan did win the bid to take over First Republic's deposits. So obviously big news over on that. And also, if you have noticed from the thumbnail, we are going through a rebranding over all our across all platforms. So if you want to join the new Discord again, obviously, of course, it is free. It is in the description, and I hope you enjoy the rebranding. But to get straight into the video, so obviously JP Morgan First Republic, we can see the First Republic Bank shares are no longer trading. So obviously that's one thing. Obviously, if you held anything, whether that's puts, calls, you held the individual shares, obviously that's now not really a thing. So the main focus is obviously going to be on JP Morgan. And we can see obviously on the day we're up about 2.5%, we're up about 3.5 points, which is obviously actually the value of FRC, which is quite funny. So that's how much we move. Now, what are going to always be these key levels? So one thing I do like to check is if you're kind of looking out for kind of a move in kind of the next week or so, or even a longer time, but usually I like to use these on a shorter term time frame. Especially you can see what are the options pricing in. So for JP Morgan, coming into Friday's expiry, they're pricing in about a 3-point move from where we are now. So that could mean obviously we go back down and we kind of give back all these gains because that would be taking us back to around the area of around 139 as a support. And again, we'll always do the same thing to the upside, about 3 points. And so that's looking to take us to around 145. So this is the range for the week that the options are pricing in. So obviously the first time we come into these levels, really looking to play potential pullbacks or reversals. If we start breaking outside of it, that's usually where you get these bigger moves. You kind of get these breakout moves. So if we started breaking outside of this range again, then looking more for a breakout. And where would we be paying attention to levels outside of this range? So as always, then we're paying attention to the standard deviation channels. So on the left, we have a 6-month chart. On the right, we have a 1-year chart. And obviously you can see the range doesn't take us to any levels. So what we're really watching for is if we break out of one of these levels, is we then expect to move to a deviation. So if we start to break outside of that 145, so to the upside, we're looking at the 149.50 resistance. And again, obviously pair that with the 150 psychological level. That's going to be a really heavy layer of support. Well, even today, we did hit that 52-week high. Or at least, a 6-month high. We're very close to that 52-week high, or we did actually hit that pre-market. But yeah, if we break higher, we're looking at that 149.50 to around 150. If we break that, we're looking at the 153. And if we continue to break that, we'll be looking at 160 and 163 as further resistances. Now, if we did end up breaking to the downside, then we'll be looking at 131, 128, 120, and 117. So again, these are going to be the key support and resistances. The way I tend to use these levels is, firstly, and we'll quickly change the colors to make this a bit clearer. We'll change these to blue just so they stand out. Again, this is what the options are pricing in. This is the range options are pricing in. Within this range, again, to me, there's not really much trading opportunity. If we come to one of these levels, again, potentially looking to play that reversal, we can see it actually did that kind of pre-market hit straight into that 145, and that's where we got that reversal. And then again, we came to the downside, kind of got that reversal. So potentially looking to kind of play range bound trades in here. Now, if we start to break out, and by breakout, I don't mean just we tap above it, we come back down. What you want to see for a breakout is a break above this level. You come back to test it as a support, and if it holds, then we count that as a breakout. And again, for the same to the downside, if we break below it, we want to come back to test it as a resistance, and if that holds, then obviously then we're counting that as a break, and then potentially looking to play trend. And then if we get that, again, obviously we're going to have a 149 target to around 153 if we break to the upside. And to the downside, we'll be looking at around a 131 to a 128. So again, these are going to be targets where I use these levels as kind of how we talk about the range. First time we come into it, really locking in profits, potentially looking for a small bounce or an overall reversal. If we then end up testing it again, breaking through, then looking to play trend. So I hope you enjoyed the breakdown on JP Morgan. What do you think about First Republic being bought up by JP Morgan? If you enjoyed the video, why not drop a like and subscribe? Hope you see you next one, and that's it. Peace.